This is Close Encounters. Close Encounters. True stories, real people. Close Encounters on Cross Rhythms.
Hello and welcome to Close Encounters with me, Anne Donaldson. And my guest today is Jane Boyd. And Jane is a mother, a grandmother, a lady who loves helping people, and a qualified mindset specialist. Wow, I want to hear more about that in a moment, Jane, but welcome.
Thank you, Anne.
You're so welcome here today. It's great to have you. So Jane, tell us a little bit about your early years and your upbringing and what influences that had on you as a woman.
So I was born in Wakefield in West Yorkshire. My mum was a qualified teacher, but she gave up work when I was born. And my dad was a colliery engineer, so I didn't see very much of him at all, actually, when I was a little girl. He was always working every single day. And I had a little brother, David, so...
Yeah, so you had a happy upbringing.
Yes.
Yeah, and you enjoyed school and you achieved well?
Yeah, I did really, really well at school, to the point where I ended up then being put in for the exam to go to the high school, like a private school, and I got through a year early. So
Right. So what sort of influences were around you that were positive? What were the things that you look back on and think, yeah, that had a really positive impact?
Yeah, so I think I was happy, and I could cope with all that was thrown at me at school, so that was fine. My mum was looking after me and my brother, and she was at home, so that was good. And we lived in a nice area, and I had good friends. So my best friend at that time, she was a churchgoer because her mum and dad said she had to go. And so I used to go with her because I always used to think, well, at least I get time spent with her and I will have nothing else to do. And there were boys at church as well, so I was hopeful, but nothing ever happened there. Never met anybody.
No, but in that setting you were hearing the Christian faith?
Yes. Yeah, and we used to go to a youth club as well at church. So.
Okay, yeah. So those seeds were sown. So your mum attended church or not?
My mum was a Catholic, but she didn't go to church. No. And she never really shared her faith very much with me.
Okay, but it was there.
She did believe.
Yeah, it was there in the background. That's wonderful. And you went to a Church of England school, so that would give you some further exposure to
we used to
faith.
Be down at the church quite often, and then we also used to have the vicar come up and talk to us. So
so seeds were being sown, but you weren't aware that they were being sown at that time. Yeah. So was it this best friend that moved eventually, or a different best friend?
It was a different. I met someone else when I went to high school.
Okay.
When we were 13.
Yeah.
Karen, and so she was my best friend throughout school, and then she moved eventually to Swaziland.
Yeah.
When she'd finished university.
Yeah, I had to check where Swaziland is, and it's just off South Africa, isn't it? It borders South Africa.
Yes, it's about the size of Wales, and it borders South Africa and Mozambique.
But her name is Karen. And she's been a great influence in your life.
Yeah, massively.
Yeah.
She, when she was out there, she went out as an atheist, but she met Jesus out there. And she eventually became a pastor in the tiny, tiny little town that she lives in.
Yeah.
And her church was a metal shed, a metal container.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful to go there. You know, we've always been in touch, so our families have kind of grown up together. You know, we go and see them, they come to see us.
So you, with hindsight, you can see how God has threaded through the different friends and influences that was laying the foundation for the day when you would actually respond to the gospel for yourself.
Absolutely, yeah, those seeds were growing.
That's wonderful. That's really good. good. So during these early years, what did you do career-wise? You went through schooling.
Yeah, so after school, I left at 16 and I went into banking.
Okay.
And then quite soon, well, no, it felt like a long time for me, but it wasn't. They spotted that I was good at helping people to learn, so they gave me a job as a training officer.
Right.
And that then led eventually to me becoming a training consultant with my own business.
Yeah. So that's threads again has been there all along, because,
Yes.
you know, as I brought the introduction, you love helping people.
Yes.
And it's inherent within you.
Yeah, it just feels like when I think about my purpose in life, I can see that God made me to make a difference to people.
That's beautiful. And so there was a pathway to coming to that point where you fully committed your life to Jesus. And we can't wait to hear. But we're going to take a break now and listen to your first choice of song.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about why you've chosen this and why it's so special?
Yeah, so that little church in Pigs Peak called the Christian Life Centre that my friend was the pastor of, their worship band was all the kids in the area, and they used to have rubbish instruments, etc.
Yeah.
But they just built and got better and better, and so I'm just delighted that this is my choice. It's called Storm by Outcry,
and they're the ones who put this together.
They are, yeah.
That's
This is them.
wonderful. Thank you. Listening to Close Encounters, I'm Anne Donaldson, and my guest today is Jane Boyd. And Jane, you know, we were just hearing about how God's put people scattered throughout your life who were actually great influences. And tell us about, you got married and...
Yeah, so after we were married, we didn't have any children for quite a long time, our choice. And then I had my first child, Tom, and at that moment, you know, when he was born, I just knew, sorry, filling up a bit thinking about it. I knew God was there.
It's just, I think of Psalm 139, you know, where the psalmist says, before we were born, God knew us in our mother's womb. And as a mother and giving birth is that incredible gift of new life. And that's what made you just so open to God, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It was amazing. And so I started going to church because I had this next door neighbour who was a Christian, and she went to a church near me. And she was a friend, and so she used to talk to me about church and about God, and she wasn't pushy at all. I never felt like she was trying to make me do anything that I didn't want to do. But when Tom was born, I just wanted to go to church.
Yeah.
And so, and then eventually he was christened, and then I was confirmed quite soon after that.
Yeah, so that was your outward acknowledgement of what you had, the decision you had made.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, it wasn't just her influence. There'd obviously been that influence throughout the years from Karen in Africa, who would share stories of miraculous things that had happened because of her listening to and being obedient to Christ's nudges. Yeah. And those miracles, I believed, and I believed them because she was my best friend and I knew she wouldn't lie to me. Yeah. So sometimes people share miracles who are Christians, and people who are not Christian want to find some kind of rational explanation, don't they? Yeah. But actually, you know, it's God working in us.
That's right. It is the miraculous.
Yeah.
So all these different influences were building and causing your life to be transformed through the choice you made to follow after Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful, isn't it? And what changes did you experience? Are there things that you can say, this changed in my life, or my attitude in this changed? Are there things you can share with us that you recognised?
It seemed so. It wasn't someone saying do this or do this differently. It was me just feeling that I needed to change the way that I was living my life. So I didn't gossip anymore, and I didn't used to go out partying and that kind of thing. So and I used to try and make sure. I had 2 children eventually. My daughter was born, and she was another miracle. And I just always wanted to make sure that they grew up with a good Christian understanding of life and how to be.
Yes, yeah. It's God working from the inside out, isn't it?
Yeah.
He transforms us from inside out. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a gradual thing. Sometimes we have to look back and think, oh yes.
And I really love it, because my husband, he doesn't believe in God. He's a bit agnostic right now, and I can see that God's working in him. I can see how wonderfully he's being changed.
Yes, it's so encouraging, and I'm sure anyone listening will be encouraged when they hear what you're sharing. It's wonderful.
Good.
And I think it's a good time to take a listen to your next choice of music, and you've chosen a beautiful song, Oceans.
Yeah, so I chose this song for 2 reasons, and one was that God one day said I was really struggling with my mental health, and I just felt like I was drowning, and he just said, put your feet down. And I realised that I could just exist, and I didn't have to be worried about all the stuff that was going on. So it was a big step towards my eventual improvement in mental health. But also it just I lose myself in this song. It's beautiful. I sing it in the shower and I'm all wobbly, and it's so funny.
Thank you. Yes, this is Close Encounters with me, Anne Donaldson, and my guest today is Jane Boyd, and we have just been blessed listening to that beautiful song. And as you introduced it, you said how meaningful it was as you went through some mental health difficulties. Perhaps you could enlarge on that, Jane, a little bit. I feel like it might have started a lot earlier than it seemed to start for me. So it was when my mum died in 2002. She was just there one day and gone the next. It was a brain hemorrhage. And at first I did the thing that I typically do. I'm the person you want around in a difficult situation because I cope. And so I was doing all that for everybody. And then, kind of fast forward to the following July and maybe June, and I realised that I was going downhill, and I was a consultant, so I finished off my contract, and then I went to the doctors and was signed off with depression. And that started in 2002, but I can see now that it was threaded back through the years. There was stuff going on. And I think it lasted, maybe 18 years. Wow.
So it wasn't all the grief. I did think it was the grief for a while. But, it was dark. It was really dark. I knew that I still believed that God was there and that Jesus was there. And I can remember, times when I would be thinking about him and praying, and then just feel like I was in this massive room where there was, a lot of people, like a big crowd of people, and he would be on the stage at the front, and I was right at the back trying to fight my way through, wanting to be at the front and not finding a way. And I kind of knew it was about me connecting with him rather than him not wanting to be with me. It carried on and carried on and carried on and carried on, and it was very dark. And there wasn't a lot of light around, but I can see he was there.
He was there.
He was.
That's beautiful. And you know that beautiful, I think it's a poem, isn't it, of footsteps in the sand, where
Yes.
the person says, Lord, where were you? You know, when I needed you so much, there was just the one set of footprints, wasn't there, in the sand?
Yes, I used to have that pinned on my notice board at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said that was when I carried you.
Yeah.
And that's what he was doing, and yet for you it felt very dark and very...
It did.
So dark, in fact, that you started to have suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, I did. I'd had a couple when I was driving. You know, that's a nice solid wall. Why don't you drive into it? It'll all be over and done with, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there was one day where I was very, very distressed. There was stuff going on, you know, in my life that was really, really hard for me to cope with. When I think about it, it's because I couldn't make it happen, and I wanted to make it happen, kind of thing. And I was used to being able to resolve things. And I was driving down the road, and I suddenly found myself pulling out onto the wrong side of the road and heading towards an articulated lorry with my foot flat down on the floor.
Oh,
and I was completely, you know, the voice in my head was saying, it'll all be over and you won't have to go through this anymore. And then suddenly God pulled me over.
Wow.
I braked, and I was behind this little car that was doing 40 mile an hour, and I was like, wow, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And that day was the day when everything started to go right.
Wow.
I wasn't out of the depression then. It went on, but it was lighter, and it was just, I was getting better.
The start of breakthrough.
Yeah, and things happened like then, you know, after that I'd be driving and I'd notice something, and maybe it was a murmuration of starlings, and I'd feel something and it'd make me cry, and my therapist would say, that's joy seeping in, and I thought, I know that's God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So throughout that very, very dark time, you knew that he was there.
Yeah, I do. And it wasn't him that made it happen.
Absolutely.
But
yeah.
he was with me through it.
I think it's really important that we clarify for anyone listening, you know, God doesn't give us sickness. He doesn't give us depression. He doesn't give us these things. It's a part of a fallen world, and there's an enemy out there. But what God can do, not only can he be right there with us and walking through with us, but he can actually turn it around so that when we do come through, we're equipped to help other people.
Absolutely. And one of the words that I was given by a friend of mine from church was Ephesians 6:11, which is the armour of God. Mm-hmm. And I put on my armour every morning now, mm-hmm. and I know he's there protecting me and helping me through.
Yeah.
And you know, now my experience of all that means that I can do my job, which is mindset specialist, helping people to push through what's holding them back towards their goals.
Yeah. So that's our God. He turns things around.
Yes.
And he turns them for good. What the enemy meant for evil, he can turn around to good.
Absolutely. And I'm blown away by that. I really am.
Yeah. Oh, it's wonderful to hear that you've passed through that valley, and you've come through with his...
And you know what's really great about that is that when you're in that valley, it feels so dark, but oh my goodness me, when you come out into the light, it is so amazing. You just appreciate it more, I think.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. And we're going to listen to your next choice of music, if you'd like to introduce.
Oh yeah, so this is one of those, I need to listen to music really loud sometimes. So I put this on in the car and I play it really loud. It's my getting through difficult times song. Play it very loud and I shout the words out loud. It's great.
Okay, we'll listen to it now. Thank you. And my guest today is Jane Boyd. And Jane, you were sharing with us about that very dark time, but praise God, you came through.
Absolutely.
So what have you learnt through that might be helpful to someone listening to you sharing?
Loads of things, but probably the key ones are that God is always with me. He's been with me all the way through, and he's been holding my hand or carrying me when I needed to be carried, and that God has made good come out of what happened. So he didn't make it happen, but he made good come out of what happened, and I am blown away by that, really, I am.
Yes.
So now I can do my job because of that. I wouldn't have been able to do my job if it hadn't have been that.
Yeah.
And also just things like I've learned that therapy helps. So there's lots of different therapies, and I tried lots. The one that I ended up with was one called EMDR, which was almost miraculous. And I think, God led me to that therapist,
yes,
and it made a huge difference to me.
Yeah.
And it's a trauma therapy, so that was really helpful.
Yeah.
And also that I found out that I'm neurodiverse. I've got ADHD, and so I can see a thread of that running through, and learning as part of that therapy that I've got ADHD has been completely life-changing.
Right.
I understand who I am. I understand who I am in God. For me, it's definitely a positive thing. I feel it's a gift, and I'm very blessed by it.
Oh, that's excellent to hear.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow. Thank you. So from this this whole experience that you had, you felt led to start your own company?
Well, I already had my own company.
Okay.
And I did work for a while with Karen. We ran a social enterprise during COVID, which was definitely God asking us to help.
That's your friend in
Africa.
Yeah.
Just doing things to help small projects that had suddenly lost all their support.
Yes. Yeah.
So gathering a group of women together who could support these small projects. But then after a while, it just, because it petered out, because all our ladies went back to their projects that they do near home. So yeah, it was a season, and that was good. And then I spent a lot of time trying to find what God wanted me to do, and I ended up just sitting with that and knowing that when the time came it would happen. And then one day I was just on Facebook, and this guy popped up. His name's Alex Neal, and he's my boss now, but at the time he was talking about weight loss and turning your life around, and I became a member of the organisation, which is called the Sport Dietitian. And that sounds wrong, but basically what we do is we help people who have kind of lost all faith in being able to get themselves fit and healthy, weight loss and the right nutrition and the right exercise, and then my job, which is to help them with their mindset.
Right.
And so I'm talking to people daily who are struggling to push through what's holding them back.
Yeah. The mind is such a powerful part of our being, isn't it?
It is, and I just love the stuff that I'm doing because it is so sort of focuses me in on the beauty of God's creation, the way that he has created us so that we can step into his abundance, and it's kind of step away from the darkness. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And we're encouraged, aren't we, through scripture in the Bible. It's in Romans 12, it says, have your mind renewed by the power of God's Spirit.
Yes.
And I love that he can renew our minds.
Yeah, that's one of my favourite scriptures,
yeah, it's
actually.
lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. And I do I use affirmations quite often, or declarations, people would call them, of scripture. So I read them to myself each day, and that helps massively.
Yeah. So in terms of when do you call them clients? Is that
Yes, clients.
When you're going to spend time with a client, how does your faith, what part does that play in what you're doing?
Yeah, so when I first started doing it, I became quite overwhelmed because I'm a real empath, and I was taking on people's distress, and I started making sure that I prayed about that every morning. Prayed for God to help me to do the right thing, say the right thing, to lift anything off me that needed lifting off.
Yeah.
And also that He would be with me, giving me the right words to help people.
Yeah.
It's been astounding.
That's
I love my job. I'm able to, step away from the distress that people have, and every now and again I get a Christian through the door, so it's on the phone, so I get to speak my beliefs with them. Other than that, I am quite open that I am a Christian.
Yes.
So that helps people to understand. But I don't really talk about my faith with my clients very often.
No.
But it's there all the way through every single discussion that I have.
And that's beautiful, because the preparation that you do, as you say, each morning as you pray for the person you're going to be talking with or listening to, then God's already into that situation as you've prayed over that situation.
Yeah, and then He helps me. I ask a question and I think, where did that question come from?
Yeah.
And then they answer, and I think that question needed to be asked, because it's helped me to see, what the issue is.
Yeah.
And that helps them. And I just see God working through that all the time. It's amazing.
This is so powerful as we are listening to, some of what you've been through and that very dark time. And now we hear how God is using. It's just so beautiful, and bringing others into a freedom and into healing, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I just feel so blessed to have Him working in me through that.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing.
That's wonderful. And when we were talking, the two of us privately, you said that you put on the armour of God in a morning, and I think that's so powerful how you described it. It's a passage found in Ephesians 6. And Paul is writing, the Apostle Paul is writing to the church, and he's saying, there are things that are going to come against you. Yeah?
Yes.
There are things that you're going to have to deal with that are going to try and come and affect you in all aspects of your being. And he urges us to put on the armour, and one of the things he says is put on the helmet of salvation. And I love the imagery of that, because we can see that armour, can't we, in our mind's eye, and the helmet covers all the aspects of our mental well-being.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
And so that's what you are doing. You're putting on that protection, because you're a child of God. You're a follower of Jesus Christ. You're a lady who has experienced salvation, and you put on that protection over yourself before you go out into that work. So
I do, and when I do that, I ask Him to protect my thoughts, my words, and my deeds.
Yeah.
Because it's all about the brain. That
absolutely,
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for explaining that. Because when I introduced you and said you were a mindset specialist, I was like, oh, I want to hear more about that. And now we understand. Would you introduce your next choice of a song? It's called "I Thank God."
Yeah, so I love this song because at church we love to have a bit of a get up and a bit of a jig around, really, and dance and sing. It's like going to a proper concert, when I play this song. So it's just very upbeat and it's fun.
This is Close Encounters with me, Anne Donaldson, and my guest today is Jane Boyd. And Jane, wow, what a story, what a testimony, and what glory to God for the way He's brought you through.
Yeah.
And you moved down from Yorkshire at some point into the Midlands area, and understand that soon after that was when you started to look for a church.
Yeah, so my friend and I were looking for a church that was... I suppose it was like a church that I'd been to in Swaziland, which is now called Eswatini, by the way. And it was Potter's Wheel Church in Baban. And it was just so relational, and the music was fabulous. The worship was wonderful. The teaching was great. The connection. And it was so spirit-filled, and that's what I was looking for. And so was my friend. And we, one day, were invited to go to Lovestoke Church. And we were like, where is it? And it was in a little community centre, which, and when I got in there were about maybe 30 people there. And I just felt at home. It was where God wanted me to be. It was wonderful. Over the time I was there, I just grew and became much more spirit-filled, and I understood more about who I was in Jesus, and felt that my life was just being filled with abundance, and it was great. And then after a while they decided that they wanted me to be on the leadership team, along with a few others, including your very own Rob Thompson. and so I joined the team and started to learn how to be a church leader. And so that has been an amazing thing, and at the moment I'm one of the team leaders for one of the we have small groups, and I'm one of the team leaders, and it's been such a joy.
So that's a place where you've been loved and accepted, and grown.
And believing in Jesus and knowing He's there doesn't mean that life's not filled with stuff going on down here.
That's right.
But when I go to church, I'm reminded to keep my eyes on God and to rely on Him, and to know that He's in charge, and I don't have to worry.
That's right.
And it's just so what we all need at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That we don't have to reason or work it out for ourselves. We can put our trust in Him and allow Him to guide us.
And I am so thankful for that, because it's quite a dark world, isn't it? And people are struggling, and in God you don't necessarily have that feeling.
And in Jesus, what the world is anchoring after is peace.
Yes.
And peace can really only be found in the person who is. His name is Peace, the Prince of Peace.
Yes.
And He's the one who gives peace that the world doesn't understand and the world can't give.
That's it. And it might look like the battle has not been won, but it has been won.
Yeah.
And we just all need to accept that.
Yeah. So just celebrate what that Prince of Peace, the Lord Jesus Christ, has done in your life, Jane, today. And I'm so thankful for you sharing your story with us. And it's been very inspirational. It's been very helpful. It's been very moving.
Thank you.
And I thank God that He will be glorified through what you've shared today.
Yes.
And before we listen to your final choice of music, I do want to say a sincere thank you. But would you introduce this final choice for us?
Yes, so this is Hard Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake. And the reason I've chosen it is because it's my song that I go to. I know it's all about me. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's hard. And I think that's true for a lot of us Christians. So I love it.
Thank you.
Close Encounters on Cross Rhythms. True stories, real people.